and the ride starts. And you can imagine it's that slow
Oh, yeah.
as you go up.
The build up.
And then right on the top, there's just this silence. And you don't know if you should keep your eyes open or not. You're really scared. You have no idea what to expect. And the next thing, your tummy's in your throat. And you're screaming and you're praying and you're just hoping to get to the end of it. And it just goes whirling and twirling and you are disorientated. And then the ride stops. And then you get off and you say, "Never again."
Yeah.
That's kind of what cancer is like.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Zen and Now podcast, where we explore the journey of wellness, mental health, and living for today. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Varsha Naran, the driving force behind Lumiere. Is that how you say it?
Lumiere,
Ah,
like the light, Lumiere.
Lumiere Coaching and Consulting. Varsha's focus on personal growth and self-discovery is inspired by her courageous battle to defeat cancer not once, but twice. Superhero in my books. She's also got multiple degrees and is very accomplished in her field of neurolinguistics, programming, accreditations in various forms, mental fitness coach, and a certified resilience model trainer. And her coaching methodology is both comprehensive and transformative. Let's dive into it and just learn about this tremendous human being story. Thank you for joining me on my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's exciting to be here.
Yes. When I reached out to you, I just I felt it was the right thing to do because your journey is such an extraordinary one, and getting your message out there or sharing your story, could help somebody. And I think that's why I reached out to you. I feel like we have all stories to tell, and just somebody who's struggling out there might just reach into this and tap into it and say, what, I'm not alone. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for sharing your story with me as well. I look forward to this.
I love stories. I'm a voracious reader, and I actually love reading biographies. I love reading about people's lives, and I always walk away with the sense of awe of what people can actually go through, what the human being is capable of, and how much atrocities has been done, and I think will, continue happening at some point in different places. And stories have been for me this space when I was young to escape. And as I grew older, it's also this space where I found wisdom and courage and just a community.
Yeah. Did you fully immerse yourselves in those? Were you into fantasy or just fictional? What was your genre to go to?
Sure. Growing up, when I say growing up, I still am a huge fan of Sherlock Holmes.
Nice. Me too.
So yeah, I mean, I've been to the Holmes Museum in London, so I mean, you don't get better than that. So I love murder mysteries. I love reading books about kind of law cases and stories. Books. Growing up, I loved Enid Blyton books. I'm going to go and want to learn the story of the author. So I really, really love biographies. I want to know what makes people write this beautifully. Where did these ideas come from? How did this wonderful world live inside you? Or how did you overcome what you've been through? So growing up, my father really encouraged reading, and I just recently noticed that my son's reading the same copy of The Pearl by John Steinbeck
Oh wow.
that I read when I was his age.
Right.
It's I think I must have brought it back from South Africa when we moved here, and he's picked it up. And it was a beautiful moment because that was a book my dad had given me, and now my son's reading it. And Steinbeck's, again, an amazing author that I've loved reading. I went through a phase last year where I read a lot of books of Holocaust survivors,
Oh
and that really connected me to just collective suffering. And it puts in perspective what we are going through and what I am personally going through. It really, really puts things in perspective, and it allows you to step back and say, wow, this happened in this world.
hmm
And I am okay. What I'm going through is manageable.
yeah.
Not to ever compare,
Right.
but it's manageable. And I
Yeah. I think
think we need more of that. I'm
some
sorry,
music
that's
playing.
my
It's
son.
okay. We get some vibe going in on the show. That's okay. No, you were saying like I think the Holocaust. I think for me also something about it. Just I also like I watch a lot of documentaries and I like want to understand their stories. I think my wife always says in the past life I was probably either in that space. I was either one of the two. So maybe my soul resonates with them and just the intriguement, just to understand their story, um,
Yeah,
and just to learn from it as well, because we all, I mean, take a lesson out of everything in life, whether it be good or bad. And i think I think I agree with you, like there's always something to learn or take something from, not the suffering but negative experiences, where we can incorporate it into our lives and say, okay, what did I learn from it and how can I make it better,
yeah.
uh,
And then there's that moment of awe, right? Because one of the things that really helps with mental well-being, right? One of the things that we talk about is this sense of awe
right.
and being able to be awe-inspired or to be in a state of awe. And awe can be many things. It can be climbing an amazing, having a really hard hike on Drakensberg and getting to the top and taking all of that in.
Yeah.
But awe can also be going down into the depths of somebody else's suffering and understanding what they've been through, and that, just the fact that they experienced that
Yeah.
is all as well.
As a cancer survivor, not once but twice, would you be able to talk me through like your experience and how it felt like, the first time being in remission, and then the second, and then learning about that you've got it again, and then going through all of that again? I'm sure it must have been just like just a total shock to your senses. If you just give me a background, or how did you feel?
Yeah. Well, staying on the theme of stories, maybe I can tell you a story. So, when I was very young, I grew up in a little town called Brits, which didn't have one horse. Maybe it had half a horse. I don't know. But it was a small little town.
I remember.
And yeah, sure. And once a year, the circus would come, and once a year, the carnival would come. And they would set up this roller coaster, and they would have all these rides. And every year, being among the youngest, I would beg and plead for my cousins, all of them boys, to take me to the carnival with them. And they were not very keen, but I guess at some level, they would take me. So they would agree and they would take me, and they would always leave one of the cousins in charge of me, Uresh. I don't know if you remember him.
Probably,
And
probably not.
well,
Maybe if
he
I
was in
maybe
charge of me.
okay.
Long story short, he was in charge of me. He drew the short end of the straw every year. And he would take me on all the rides, the twister and the teacup, and all of these baby rides. And one year I said to him, as he looked very longingly at the roller coaster, I said to him, you know what? Let's just do it. It's okay. I can be brave. You with me. Let's do it. And so we stand in the queue behind the rest of the cousins, and they all get on the ride and they fill the ride up.
Oh
So
no.
we need to wait for the next one. And the next one comes along, and guess what? We are in the first
Front.
seat, right in front.
The
And
best
we
seat in
all
the
know
house.
that's the scariest place to be. And
It's either you love the
finally,
front or you don't.
yeah, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
So we get in, and I'm this little wafer of a person. And so the bars come up, and he's got his hand, against me because he's not sure those bars are going to be good enough. I'm not even sure they had like those seatbelt things in those days. And the ride starts, and you can imagine it's that slow tap, tap, tap,
Oh
tap,
yeah, yeah,
tap
yeah,
as you
yeah.
go up.
The build up.
And then right on the top, there's just this silence. And you don't know if you should keep your eyes open or not. You're really scared. You have no idea what to expect. And the next thing, your tummy's in your throat, and you're screaming, and you're praying, and you're just hoping to get to the end of it. And it just goes whirling and twirling, and you are disorientated. And then the ride's over. And then you get off, and you say, never again.
Again.
That's kind of what cancer is like.
Before we continue with today's episode, if you're enjoying it, if I could ask you for a small favor, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It will not only help the channel grow, but it will also allow me to bring you a lot more guests and a lot more experiences. Thank you. Back to the show. Roller
It's like a
coaster.
roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
It's this tuck, tuck, tuck going up from, for me, I felt a lump under my arm and went and had a biopsy done. So it's tuck, tuck, tuck up. And then waiting for the results. And then you sit in the doctor's room, and you're sitting there, and the doctor says to you, I'll never forget this. He said to me, how do you eat an elephant?
How do you
Do you
eat
know
an
how to
elephant?
eat an elephant, Christian? Yeah. How do you eat an elephant? Probably the most anxiety driven moment.
Right.
And my doctor walks in and says, how do you eat an elephant? So the answer is one bite at a time. And that's how you go through cancer treatment. One bite at a time, one step at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. You just take it as it comes. And that was my journey. So I was 24 years old the first time I was diagnosed with cancer. And I went through chemotherapy and hormone therapy because my cancer was estrogen positive. And then I continued hormone therapy for another 5 years. And just after that, moved to Mauritius. And then 10 years later, 10 years after my first diagnosis, at 35, I was diagnosed with my second cancer.
Wait.
Both of them were breast cancer.
Okay.
You were asking a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, like, were you frustrated when it returned? Were you angry? Or did you feel like, why me again? Why this again?
I was sad.
Mm-hmm.
I was really, really sad. And I'll never forget, I got my diagnosis from a surgeon. And she obviously saw that I was crestfallen. So she called my oncologist, who I had by now known for 10 years.
Right.
and who had been my treating doctor. And I sat outside the hospital and in the parking lot waiting for him to come from, I don't know where he was that day, but it took him an hour and a half to get to me. He was on vacation. Um, and my husband and I sat on a little bench behind some cars in the parking lot at the clinic. And there were just no words. There was just no words for this. We were just shocked. I
Right.
remember purple flowers. I remember lots and lots of butterflies everywhere. And I remember this silence. I remember him holding my hand. And I remember saying to him, we have a choice here.
Mhm.
I can do treatment, but I can also choose not to do treatment. And for me, choice is very important
Mhm.
to know that I am in control of my life, that I have agency, and that I have choices, that
Mhm.
I'm informed. And it was important for me to say that out loud, to hear myself saying that. My son was a year and a half at that time, and I I wanted to I wanted to see him play music
Right.
in front of a packed audience because he was already showing talent,
Right.
banging lots of pots. And I wanted to be there. And his heart got broken for the first time.
Oh no.
And I wanted to track across the country to another country and get him settled into his apartment when he started university.
Hmm.
I wanted to be there for the small stuff and the big stuff. And that's what helped me make the choice to do treatment. But for me, it was a choice.
Right.
My cancer had mutated, so it was HER2 negative the first time, and then it was HER2 positive the second time, which meant there was a different type of treatment. The cancer was pretty unique in that after 5 years of a cancer diagnosis and survival, your chances of getting cancer again is the same as anybody else.
Balance.
The chances of the same cancer coming back after 10 years and it having mutated to a more aggressive form is a little bit more rare. And there isn't a standardized protocol in terms of treatment for that.
Hmm.
But I was very lucky. I had an oncologist here in Mauritius and I had an oncologist in South Africa, and both of them are just amazing. And so I felt very taken care of. To come back to your question, did I ask why me? Yes, many times. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I think it's normal and it's natural for us to experience the full range of emotions, right? So the anger, the rage, the frustration, the annoyance, the irritation, the sadness, the guilt, the fear. I think it's normal to feel all of that. And I was never judged for it, and I never judged myself for it. Because I think for me, I had always been taught that no matter how many times you fall down, as long as you get up, that's okay.
Yeah.
So falling down is really life. Yeah.
Life. Yeah. So I can just imagine, like, just the pure raw emotion that you go through with something like this, and not just for yourself. I think also for your support structure and people around you that actually are there for you. How how
It's a lot
taxing?
to hold.
Yeah. How taxing was it? On them as well.
I think I think very much so. I think from my side as the person going through it, um, you feel guilt that you are causing your family to go through something.
Hmm.
Um, if you are as independent as I am, it's very hard to ask for help and to rely on others. And then I think you also want to be strong for them because that's what's expected.
Right.
And everyone keeps patting you on the back and saying, "Oh, you're being so strong."
Strong.
So it seems like the narrative. And then I think the support structure also has this burden to be strong for you. And I don't know if burden's the right
Yeah.
word, but they feel they should be strong for
Should be.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that they don't want to burden you with other stuff. And so it becomes this dance that you start having where everyone's being super cautious of everyone else and everybody's feelings. And we just want to, kind of get through this. And it's sad
Mhm.
and beautiful at the same time because it's a pure form of love
Love.
to care
Yes.
so much about somebody else that you keep so much within you. But I think that when somebody is diagnosed with cancer in a home, it's the whole family.
Hmm.
And if you have an opportunity to support, don't think it's only the survivor, the cancer patient that needs the support. It's also the partner and the
Yeah.
sister and the mother and the kid. Like it takes a village.
Yes. I
And
mean, we're all
they
connected
are
emotionally.
feeling as sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
they feeling as sad and anxious as you are.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. We always have this discussion, myself and my wife, and just with other people as well. And like your actions don't just affect you, in layman's terms, it's a ripple effect down to everybody else. And sometimes I feel like I've been guilty of this. Like, sometimes you were selfish in a way, and you don't really think about your actions. You think, oh, okay, it's just going to be affecting me. Um, but afterwards, after you like go through the entire process, and then you see like your relationship starts to break with those that actually you thought they were there for you but weren't, not actually, you know and what you think is support is not actually support anymore. And then
Mm,
it's a beautiful way of how people you actually don't expect to be your support structure become your support structure.
mm,
you know and I think also, we growing up in brown communities, we were always just taught like your family is everything, and those are the people that will support you through thick and thin. And sometimes it's heartbreaking when there isn't that expectation met. You know what I'm saying? um,
yeah.
and then you get people who are just out of the pureness and goodness out of their heart, just give you what you need at that moment in time, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, moments. That moment is just,
Yeah.
you have to just reflect on it, and acknowledge it and acknowledge them as well.
Mm. I think that's one thing that cancer really gives you is perspective on community and support.
Mhm.
Because the person you go, so if you, for example, go for chemotherapy every third Thursday in a month, you inevitably are going to be sitting in the same chair. And inevitably, there's somebody else that's going to be sitting to the right of you and in front of you and to the left of you. And inevitably, you start talking. And they also become part of your support structure. And when somebody comes to visit you, they visit them as
Yeah.
well. And, it's a whole community that gets formed. But I think globally, people come together when they're suffering.
Mhm.
Um, and that, thinking of family as just your immediate family in itself can be limiting.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
family is a sort of a, how do you say, I'm looking for the word to say, uh, how do you to describe family as not just your immediate family, but it's like a global word. Family can be anything: friends, colleagues, doesn't
We
matter.
define it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Like, you define what family is. And I
Yeah.
appreciate, like,
And I think when somebody has gone through a traumatic event, then they they maybe get better at setting boundaries and creating that sense or definition of what family is.
so important you say boundaries when you go through a traumatic event. It's like, why do we need to go through those events to actually understand what setting boundaries are, you know?
Socialization, right?
Yeah. Like I never learned all of this growing up, and now understanding that I didn't set certain boundaries in life, and people took advantage of me, and all the I didn't stand up for myself when I should. And but like you said, socialization. When you're in it, you're in the vortex. It's you there. You don't really you don't really see any other perspective. But when you come out of that and you see things from an objective and different perspective, I think you yourself will know when it's right to, like, okay, take certain actions. But you also have to be the one to acknowledge that something was right and some things worked and some things didn't.
And I think you're picking on two very important things, right? Stories that we are what we are and where we are as a result of the stories we have lived.
Mm-hmm.
And that a lot of us have transformed our traumas to become better people and to engage better with this world. And if we didn't have that, as horrible as it sounds,
Yeah.
it might have taken us longer to get here. And the other part is around self accountability, right? Or self regulation in a way where we understand that we are an integral part of this world and our actions or non actions have an impact.
Yes. Yes. I think I love that. That's such an important point to note. At We are on this planet for a purpose. Like, as much as we won't want to acknowledge it at times, or we're too afraid to acknowledge it, but stepping into that power is, like you say, an awe moment. When you get to step into that power, it's like when I went through my own traumatic experience of being diagnosed with major depression and anxiety, and then being booked into the hospital for 2 weeks. That gave me perspective. Okay, I have a purpose in life, and I can either use this opportunity to do something, or I can dwell and sit in the darkest deep depths of the hole. And I took the latter of it. I mean, I took the opportunity to say my story can help somebody else, and that's I think my purpose on this planet.
You transformed your trauma.
Yes.
It's wonderful to be able to connect to who we authentically are. Because I think as little kids, we know, and somewhere along the line, conditioning, life, whatever, it gets buried somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then we feel a bit like a lost penny, and we look all over the world trying to find ourselves. But you're not a lost penny. You just need to go and unearth the layers again,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And connect back with who you authentically are. And it's not passion. I don't, you'll forgive me, but I don't think it's passion. I think it's authentic connection to what is meaningful to you, to how you make meaning in this world and how you create meaning for others by
Right.
being in this world.
I like that. It's a different perspective. I like that. Thank you.
Yes.
So this journey, what made you with going through these kind of traumas? What was the moment when you began Lumiere, and where did Lumiere come from? How did it all begin?
Oh, so I had been in corporate for a long time. I'd spent most of my career in human resources, specifically in OD. So working with leaders, working with people. And honestly, after my first cancer, I knew that I was called for something different. And things just didn't work out, or maybe I didn't pursue it, or the universe didn't put things in the right way. It was only after my second cancer that I really aggressively pursued connecting to helping others and being able to bring my value in a more tangible way.
Right.
Um, and so I had already been doing coaching and training in organizations as part of my job in OD. And Lumiere was a natural progression to do that. So the story of Lumiere, even though I'm English speaking, is very interesting. Lumiere means light, and that's because in all the years I had been in human resources working with different types of people, what I realized is that fundamentally we are all this beautiful white light that's pure, that we all want to be happy, we all want to be joyful, we all want peace, we all want healthy bodies and great relationships. We all want the same thing. So fundamentally, we all want the same white light, or we all made of that light. And then we go through this prism that we call life and life experiences. And then, that just results in this rainbow of colors of how
Yes.
we actually show up in the world.
Yes.
But if we as human beings paused to look beyond the spectrum, beyond the refraction, beyond the colors that are showing up or the behaviors of people, if we looked for their positive intention, we would go back and would connect to their white light. And we would be able to leave the judgment behind. All we need is curiosity. All we need to ask ourselves is, I wonder what's going on here. I wonder why this person who wants joy and peace and health and happiness, just like me, is behaving in this way. And if we're curious enough, we can find those positive intentions. We can find that white light and we can connect better. So
So
this is how Lumiere was born.
amazing. I love that story of inside out, the certain colors of the emotion, and how, like when you said, like we all have this certain amount of white light, but we also have all the colors within us to express, how we're feeling. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
think one
amazing. Like,
thing
no, go ahead.
you guys,
No, go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
you touched on emotions and Inside Out, also my favorite cartoon. I hope you watch Inside Out too. It's the
Not yet. Not
best.
yet.
Oh, you must.
Yes.
Um, but on speaking about emotions, what I did realize was that at some point in my life, I was tired. I was
Mm,
tired of being anxious and I was tired of being fearful and I was tired of being sad and I was just tired of fighting.
right.
There's, just so much, right?
Yeah. There's so much we
And
can
so
do.
I thought, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done with emotions. I'm done. I do not want to experience negative emotions anymore. And so I closed myself off to it. And what I realized maybe not a few, but many years later, is that when we close ourselves off to negative emotions, we also close ourselves off to experiencing positive emotions, right? So you close yourself off to experiencing joy and splendor and wonder and love and caring and all of these amazing emotions.
Oceans.
And so you come to a point in your life where you realize that there isn't fundamentally good or bad emotions. There's emotions
Yeah.
and there's how we respond to them.
Hmm.
And it's in our response where our power is, right? So we will experience something based on our response.
Yes.
And there's a lot of grace that comes in that grace for ourselves, which is not always so easy.
Only going through working on myself did I actually learn that I have two options. Whereas if I
Mm.
probably didn't go deep within myself, I don't think I would be here we're speaking about it right now. I'll be probably like further along the line, maybe later on in life.
Yeah,
So I think that there's
yeah,
certain moments in life where you take and you're like, okay, this is where I need to be right now, and I have I have choices, like you said.
Exactly. I think choices are so liberating, and anger is a very special emotion, right? Like some people say, Brene Brown, for example, believes that anger is a secondary emotion, right? So it's masking maybe shame, maybe fear, maybe hurt, um, sadness. And so when we experience the anger, there's a moment there where we can pause and ask ourselves what's really behind this,
Yeah,
what's driving this anger. And anger in itself is also an emotion that demands action, right? It's a very forceful emotion. And if we're not able to step back, we're not able to identify what's the emotion driving it, and we're not able to identify what is the need of that emotion. So maybe the need is comfort, maybe the need is understanding, maybe the need is love, maybe the need is silence, maybe the need is to set a boundary, maybe the need is an expression of something.
right.
If we remain hooked in the emotion, it becomes hard for us to actually hear what the emotion is trying to tell us.
Yeah, we
And
need
that's
to
not
listen
easy.
as well, right? We need to
Yeah,
listen to our emotions, not just feel it as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
No, that's it's a hard work to to become a better person. I think it's very challenging. It's very emotional, very draining, like you said. But it's also a beautiful story. It's a beautiful journey. I like now I enjoy the journey instead of just the destination because I know there's so much more,
Exactly.
to live for right now instead of tomorrow
Yeah.
or love yesterday. Yes, sometimes it's hard to forget the past, uh, but is now we've gained the tools to accept it and manage it in a more calmer way. Where it's like before, it would just be like panic attacks and anxiety and just all out fear. But now fear becomes a lesson instead of just uh, an experience, so to say.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
it sounds like you've done a lot of nervous system regulation work.
Oh no, I have. It's breath work, uh, trauma, trauma logging, all of those things, uh, yoga, meditation. I've
Yeah.
I've I've gotten down the path of just trying to understand why my traumas happened
Mm.
and what do they mean, and
Mhm.
they make me who I am today.
Yeah.
They all part of
Yeah.
me. I'm
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna discard any of it. What happened to me has happened, and I'm grateful for all the experiences that I've gone through. School, high school, university, adolescence, whatever it is, something was there to guide me, you know, to where I am today. And who knows what tomorrow holds. And but today we live for today, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think um, when we discard it, when we deny it, when we suppress these experiences, they have a tendency to leak out
Hmm.
and to leak out in the most inappropriate ways and the most inappropriate times. One thing I have learned is that I've stopped being so entangled in fixing myself and, getting to the destination of where I'm okay. It's more about this is what I'm experiencing now, and I'm a little bit tired of all these self-help books, so I'm going to just take it easy for a while and go and do a class in pottery, or I'm just going to, read a couple of books
Right.
and just not have to feel like I need to transform things all the time or I need to work on myself all the time. I think one of the things that we do when we've been through a traumatic event is that we feel like we need to work on it. We need to work on it. And I think we discount the power of just resting and allowing it to work, whatever we've done, to work inside us, and to allow that space for the work to happen without there having to be a verb involved of action.
Yeah.
So just being.
Do you struggle to do nothing?
Absolutely. I am always in sixth gear. But isn't that in itself putting way too much pressure? Like just because somebody somewhere says we need to just be okay with just being, right? I mean, our realities are really different, and what we are going through is different, and everybody's traumas and the way they experience it is different. So why do we expect that we need to fall into this model definition of what being is? If that fidget toy helps you, if you want to take up finger knitting, that's also really nice to do in front of the TV. That's okay. For me, one of the most liberating things to do was to learn that meditation doesn't mean that I need to be seated on the ground, sitting still,
No,
but
100%.
actually that I could be doing qigong or tai chi or yoga, or I could be walking somebody, on the beach. That in itself is a meditative experience. So discovering that was for me amazing in my 20s to realize that I had been putting so much pressure on myself to conform to this definition of what being is.
Right.
When I'm not, I'm a nonconformist, right? Like my mentor is, or my mentor, my hero, the person I look up to is Vincent van Gogh, right?
It's my
If you want to
what,
talk about taking the path less traveled, I mean,
uh, yeah, we've
yeah.
actually just we've gone to his because Toronto has an exhibition of his work,
Is it the
and
immersive experience?
yes, we've been to that,
Oh, I'm
and
so jealous.
yeah, that was something else. Like, and there's this one room where it's electronic, but his artwork is displayed by projection, and you just sit in the middle of the room to just, like you say, have those awe moments, and it's just the way he depicts his art is just it's just all inspiring, and it's just that's what I mean. Like just sitting and doing that, like that's an experience. That's a nothing moment, but you're taking it in.
You're
You
doing it.
know, you take
You're
you take
doing
it
it.
exactly. Like you're taking those moments in, and for me, exercise is my meditation. Uh, when I'm on
100%.
when I'm on my bike ride, that's meditation for me. When
Mhm.
I'm exercising,
That's
it's just
being.
yeah, that's just being right. But I feel like
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just something that I probably need to like be a bit more mindful of. It's okay just to be on the couch and okay using your hands. That's okay. I don't need to put too much pressure on myself, like you said. And thank you for sharing that. It's a different perspective, and I'll definitely keep that one in mind going forward.
I think we experience things different, and I think um, I've been working on myself for so many years that you hear so much that at some point you start questioning everything.
Hmm.
And when you reach that point where you start questioning everything, that's when the vessel is empty. That's when you start connecting to who you really are and what is really meaningful to you and accepting that.
Yeah,
And I
acceptance is
think
the big
that's where
word.
true power is.
Yeah, acceptance
Yeah,
is the word
yeah.
to just to be yourself. I think we try and be so many characters in so many
Mhm.
people's lives
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
sometimes don't just accept ourselves for who we are, and we try to
And
play
it's a
many.
daily acceptance, right?
Yeah, 100%. Not just for yourself, but for whatever you're doing or wherever you're going and whoever you're interacting
Mhm.
with. Just accepting yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a journey. It's a challenge. Every single day is you wake up and there's new challenges in front of you. But we know that when you go through something traumatic, you have the tools. So I struggle like some days to ask for help because I think I can solve all problems or just manage tasks for myself. And at times I just gotta be like, no, it's time to ask for help. And that's when
Mhm.
it's like, why didn't I do this earlier? you know, but
Mm.
it's learning those moments every single day.
It's a reframing as well, right?
Hmm.
Where I think in many ways we attach shame with asking for help because it's indicative of a failure, perhaps, that you need to ask for help. And so reframing help being community building, help being um, care, a form of care and a form of love. Asking help is a form of showing the other person that you trust them and that you believe that they have value and they can add value to you as you will add value to them. So there is that, and I think I don't know if it's something that is a female thing, um, but asking help as a woman is also makes you weak, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's the old narrative.
yeah, exactly. And so you kind of don't want to be seen that way.
Hmm.
And again, it takes a village, right? If I am where I am today, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of other women.
Right.
When I was down, it was my sister that lifted me up.
Hmm.
And very often, if we just opened ourselves to the possibility of it, we don't even need to ask. It comes.
Yeah, the universe provides when you need it the most.
Yeah. But
Has
if
your
we frame it,
village, yeah, has your village gone smaller
has my village grown smaller?
or
I
tighter?
think,
Tighter.
yeah, I think so. I was going to say, I think lots of, in the times we live, I
Hmm.
think lots of people's villages are getting smaller because, if I think of my family, there's four of us and two of us are not even in the country.
Hmm.
So that village became smaller, right? Um, has it become tighter? Most definitely. Absolutely. I've become quite ruthless
Hmm.
about in my village, the people
Right.
I care about. The people I care about fiercely. And I would go to the end of the earth for them. And I know they would do that for me too. And that's been a great comfort to me. Um, is that because of trauma? Is that because of just life? I don't know.
I think it's just awareness of who you want in your village. I think it's just
Yeah.
accepting, like, okay, I don't, and it's energies. For me, it's energies. Who do I want?
Yes.
Which energy do I want in my
Yeah.
village, right? And which don't I want? Um, and thankfully, my
Well,
wife has taught me this, and I give her kudos to that because she's taught me so much about boundary setting, energies, personalities, you know. And I'm the kind of person that just will make a conversation with anybody, and that's me. Like, and she's a totally opposite. She like kind of like suss you out a little bit, and then, okay, you'll be my in part of my group now. But if you just totally off the batch, no. Whereas it takes me a little bit more time, and I think that's where everybody's different in their timing of how they do things.
mm. And that's a complementary aspect, right,
Yeah,
of being in a couple as well. So
yeah,
that's nice.
yeah. So moving from South Africa to Mauritius, how did that how did that move actually come about, and why did you feel Mauritius was a place for you to move to?
Oh, that's a story as old as time. My husband is Mauritian,
Okay,
and so we decided to just, I guess, move back for him back home. It was a easy choice. Who wouldn't want to live in an island paradise? So yeah, we've made it work.
amazing. And your son, he's grown up uh, both in South Africa
He was
and
born there.
Mauritius. Okay. Oh, he was born there.
He was born in Mauritius,
Okay.
and he's quite close with the family in South Africa because we since his birth, we make sure we go back to South Africa at least once or twice a year.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too
So,
far.
and then with
Yeah.
technology, it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're not too
nothing
far
too
as well.
bad.
Whereas us, it's like two flights, 24 hours. It's a bit of a
Yes,
distance.
it's a
But thankfully,
commitment.
for technology, we're still in contact with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a saving grace. When I moved to Mauritius, we were still using Blackberries.
Oh yeah, yeah. BBM.
No WhatsApp. There was still the dial-up
Telephone.
tone. So yeah, yeah, no, the dial-up tone when you connected to the internet to
Oh
check
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hotmail. Yeah.
I must that sound actually.
Yeah,
Even though tedious as it was, it wasn't. It was,
that was hard.
yeah. But it was like showing like, okay, I've got technology now. And then you knew when a telephone call was coming as well. That's how you
Yes.
knew. Your speakers would play that. Yes. I say Gen Z would. Millennials will understand. Gen Z won't understand that.
Yeah.
No, no. I'm saying the
Yeah.
reason I reached out to you because I've always wanted to understand your story and learn about it. Um, and I know there's people out there who's actually probably going through something similar, or if not the same as you, and can take some form of strength from it as well. And I just want to thank you for sharing your story, and it's truly inspiring.
Thank you. That's very touching to hear. I I don't think I've done anything different to what anybody else in my place would have done.
No,
I
you've done
think
plenty.
there's
You've done plenty. Trust me, you've done plenty.
sometimes something knocks at your door and
Accept it. You've done plenty.
okay, I'm going to take that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mhm. But yeah, I think it's humbling to meet you as well, to have this conversation and to hear about your journey. So thank you.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. But I think we've just run out of time, and I just want to say yes, we could talk on forever. We could go on forever. But no, thank you, Varsha. I really appreciate you taking the time and accepting my invitation. I hope we can, reconnect and have another discussion in the future.
Anytime. This
And
has
please,
been wonderful.
yes, and come visit us in Canada.
Absolutely.
Yes.
2 flights and I'm there.
No, amazing.
You
Thank you,
take
Varsha.
care.
You take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye.